So I had the honor to work with two honorees. The process of working with Ruth Faircloth, I discovered a storyteller. So Ruth told me stories, and I listened. I heard life experiences of this woman who takes her seat in society in the face of hardships and obstacles. Obstacles that I, as a white woman, would never experience. Being with Ruth is like being with the force of nature. But that's a kind of cliche, so I thought, what does that mean, a force of nature? And I thought being with Ruth is like being in all kinds of weather, and it's thrilling. There is the vitality and the humidity and the gentle breezes, and most of all, the lightning that can stop your mind. So I'd like to invite you all to be in the climate of Ruth Faircloth.
I was born with a veil over my face. I had visions when I was a child. People thought I had unusual gifts. Gifts like the prophecy. I was the firstborn of 7 children to migrant workers, and my grandmother was my midwife. When I was 6, my father took a farm management job in the Hudson Valley, where he was known as Lord. That was his nickname, for giving money and services to the migrant community. Every Friday after school, I would transform our family home into a juke joint called The Hole. I would mop floors, I would clean, I would put on chair covers that I sewn by hand. Our juke joint was offering gambling, crap, cards, laughter, drinking, and dancing to the great music of James Brown, Sam Cooke, and the gospel group Mighty Clouds and Joy. My mother and I would fry chicken and fish. I would walk around collecting money in my apron, carrying $1,000 at any one time. This is what migrant workers had for entertainment: juke joints and people homes. There were competitions all over juke joint territory. One Friday night, when I was 12 years old, 4 ladies came in our juke joint with weapons, knives, tirons. They had went upstairs, and I was coming back downstairs, and I saw the ladies kicking the kitchen door in. One of them said to my mother, "Oh, Betty, what you gonna do? We are here to let you know we came for you." My mother was cool. "Whatever you all got," she said. I got this pan of hot grease in my hand. That's when I went running back upstairs, and I came down with a shotgun. One of the ladies was walking forward, and I clicked the gun, and something hit my hand, and the gun went off. And I started crying, and someone grabbed me, and they hugged me. And my mother said, "Ruth, you put that gun down. I got this situation." And the ladies began to leave. I was just 12 years old. Shotguns in our house was something I knew about, but was told not to touch unless it was important. I just knew I needed to protect my mother. Whatever it took, I thought, I'm the authority and I'll take care of this. It seems like At an early age, I was a girl in a woman's shoes. When I was 14, I was winning dance contests all over town. My brother Perry and I. I made my own dresses. We danced the mashed potatoes, and we won. My high school was all white. At the age of 16, I joined the Black Panther Party. In 1969, the year after Martin Luther King died, my school wasn't recognizing his birthday. So I went to our school principal, and I said, "This is crazy. Tomorrow is supposed to be a national remembrance, and we should not have to come to school." And he said, "No, you got to be in school tomorrow, or it will count as an absence." So I went home and I called up all of my schoolmates. I told the kids, "Here's what we're going to do. We'll go to school early and meet out back." In the morning, we all arrived, and I said, "We'll go in the back door, and then we'll sit in a circle in the center of the glass atrium where everyone can see us." And we did. Yeah, we did. Come on, somebody. The principal sent teachers to tell us to come to class. 50 of us. Black kids, Hispanic kids, white kids. We would not talk. We would not say a thing. We just sat with our arms crossed. The next year, I stopped saying the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, and I organized other kids to join me. We came to school a little late, or just did not say the pledge. I was being a caretaker against injustice. Even though my dance skills gave me top place in my high school cheerleader auditions, I was not allowed to be a cheerleader because my skin was too black. Moses brought the children of Israel out of slavery, and I wanted to follow a path of justice. After high school, there was a choice to make: go to college or get married. I had a scholarship to Hampton University in Virginia, and I had a 10-month-old baby daughter. On one hand, I was going to the meetings of the Black Panther Party, and I liked what Huey Newton was saying, and I admired Angela Davis. If I went to Hampton, I could be an activist like Angela Davis. On the other hand, I knew my baby father since age 15, and we had went to the prom together at 16, and he was a great supporter. I was so busy sewing my wedding dress that I hadn't stopped to consider my choices until the day of the wedding. Everybody was at the church. I was at home in my wedding dress. I thought, I can be a great activist, or I can get married. If I marry, I lose a step into my Angela Davis future. But if I don't marry, I lose a proper childhood for my daughter. 5 hours went by. The pastor sent someone to get me, and I chose the American dream. Max and my husband of 47 years. By the age of 25, we had 5 wonderful children, and my house was romper room. In my 30s, I was feeling wild and free. It was all about me. I'm every woman. Out dancing, living apart from my husband. I was working as a correction officer in New York State Division for Youth, helping young ladies in trouble. One of the greatest jobs I ever had, until one of the girls jumped on my supervisor, and I went to take her down and ended up badly hurt. Isn't it a wonder how this woman became a minister? Yeah, I had sense of ministry from a young age. It started with childhood visions of Abraham Lincoln. It grew into a sense of caretaker for all people in need, for everyone in the world, for all races. My dream is that every child have the opportunity, if for only one week of a summer camp, just to be a child. In my late 30s, my husband and I was a member of a church. He was assistant pastor, I was the evangelist. There was an election for pastors, and my husband lost by 1 vote. He stayed with the church, but I wasn't into the new pastor. I went to the other members who also did not want to be under the new man. I brought them together for prayer services at my home on Friday night. Instead of a juke joint, like in my childhood, it was church in my house. We got bigger and bigger. I talked to the bishop, and he said, Ruth, you can do it. So I started a church service on Sunday at another member's house, and faith just began to develop. One day when we were sitting in the home church, and my husband walked in, everybody looked, and I said, wow. There were 2 chairs up front. I was sitting in one. There was just something in me. I looked at the empty chair. I looked at my husband, and I asked the members, here is our pastor. What do we want to name our church? We have our pastor now. And we named it Faith Church of God because we went on faith. We went by faith. Now we're almost 30 years. Last year, my husband became the bishop, and I'm the pastor now. Hey! I think my whole life kept me alive to the possibility of change. Changing the world with my voice. When I was in the Black Panthers, I was not a fan of Martin Luther King. When I got older, I said, let's do it the Martin Luther King way. I think this is where my fight for justice came in. It's not so physical now. With the ministry, I can protest. I can stand up. I can sing. Victory is mine. Victory, victory shall be mine. Come on. Victory, victory shall be mine. If I hold my peace, let the Lord fight my battles. Victory, victory shall be mine. Woo! Victory shall be mine. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Victory shall be mine.
Yay, Ruth. Victory. So, Ruth, would you like to talk a little bit about this process?
When I first heard about this process, someone had told someone and given my name, and I want to thank that person again. And I thought, sure, I'll get in it. When somebody's going to sing my song, I'll think of something. I'm pretty cool at doing that. And then all of a sudden, Joanne came, and she said, oh, no, we're not singing a song. She said, you're going to do a monologue. I said, a monologue? What are you talking about? And the next thing I knew, I thought it was like 1 day, 2 days, maybe I'll see her. I mean, it became week after week and hour after hour, and I was like, my God, this is a free job. I'm not doing it and getting any money for this. And then I realized that it was something inside of me. That little girl was still lost in there somewhere. And Joy, I want to thank you. Because it was during a time in my life now that I needed a friend. And God sent you through Claudette to me to be a friend to me. Thank you. Thank you. Hallelujah.